Welcome to my channel Liberty Old Coin, another exciting episode where we dig through pocket change and attic discoveries to uncover hidden treasures you never knew you already owned. Today, we are talking about a coin that almost every American has encountered. First up, we need to rewind the clock to the late 1970s. America was dealing with inflation, and the government realized it was costing more than a penny to actually print a penny. They had a big, heavy Eisenhower dollar that nobody wanted to carry, so Congress decided to shrink things down. President Jimmy Carter signed a bill in 1978 authorizing a brand new, smaller dollar coin. They wanted something modern, efficient, and meaningful. For the first time in American history, they decided to put a real, non-mythical woman on the face of a circulating coin. That woman was SusanBAnthony, the fierce warrior for women's suffrage and equal rights. Now, this was a huge deal. The image was designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, and on the back, he placed an eagle landing on the moon, borrowing the design from the Apollo 11 mission patch. It was supposed to be this beautiful blend of historical feminism and futuristic space travel. The mints in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco got to work immediately, striking these coins by the hundreds of millions. In fact, the 1979 P coins were actually pre-struck, starting all the way back in December of 1978. They were so confident this coin would be a hit. But then, reality hit. The public took one look at this coin and said, "Why am I getting a quarter back from the vending machine?" You see, the SusanBAnthony dollar is 26.5 millimeters wide, which is almost exactly the same size as the Washington quarter. The edge is reeded, the color is silver, and people absolutely hated it. They called it the Carter quarter as an insult. Even worse, vending machines weren't calibrated for it. The coin was a massive commercial failure, and by 1981, production was halted. Billions of them sat collecting dust in government vaults. So, if the government made over $500 million of these things just in 1979, and nobody wanted them, how on earth could they be valuable today? That is the magic of collector psychology. You see, when a coin fails, it creates a story. And when a coin has a story, and specific rare variations within that failure, collectors go wild. This is where you need to pay very close attention, because not all $1,979 are created equal. In fact, the difference between a $1 bust token and a 5-figure payday can be a fraction of a millimeter on the rim. Let me introduce you to the king of the 1979 bunch, the 1979 P wide rim variety, sometimes called the near date. At the very beginning of production, the mint used a die that left a narrow rim and a clear gap between the date and the edge. Then, late in 1979, they tweaked the design. They widened the rim, which pushed the date much closer to the edge. They thought this made the coin look better. They used this wide rim die for a very short time before switching back. Experts disagree on exactly how many were made, but we know they are tough to find. Littleton Coin Company reportedly searched over 1 million sets and only found about 1,600 of these wide-rim coins. In high mint state condition, graded MS67 by PCGS, one of these wide-rim beauties sold for nearly $7,000 on eBay in 2021. But wait, we are not stopping at $7,000. If you really want to see a number that makes your eyes water, look at the regular 1979 P dollar. Not the wide rim, just the regular Philadelphia coin. In perfect MS67 condition, one sold for $3,819 at Heritage Auctions back in 2014. That is a nice chunk of change, but the ceiling is higher. Currently, a 1979 P dollar graded MS68, which is almost flawless, is estimated to be worth a staggering $10,000. And that is just the estimate. When these things hit the auction floor against two determined bidders, the sky is the limit. Now, do not ignore the coins from Denver and San Francisco either. The 1979 D, believe it or not, also has an estimated value of up to $10,000 for the absolute finest known examples. One 1979 D graded MS66 actually sold for $11,750 in a 2016 auction. The 1979 S-proof coins are a whole different animal. If you have a 1979 S-Type 2 proof, where the S mint mark is clear and sculpted rather than blob-like and filled in, you are holding something special. These Type 2 proofs can fetch $150 or more in perfect PR70 condition, and the regular 1979 business strikes in MS68 are valued near $5,000. I need you to understand that these numbers are not fantasy. These are real transactions recorded by PCGS and NGC, the gold standards of coin grading. People are actively buying these coins right now. The market for high-end modern coins is absolutely on fire. Collectors are completing registry sets, trying to be number one on the leaderboards, and they need these perfect 1979 specimens to do it. So when you hear someone say, "Oh, those Anthony dollars are worthless," what they really mean is that the beat-up, scratched, heavily circulated examples they have in their coffee can are worth face value. And that is true. If your coin looks like it went a few rounds in a washing machine, you are looking at a trip to the bank, not the auction house. But that does not mean you should ignore the ones that look nice. If you find a $1,979 that is brilliant, shiny, and shows absolutely no wear, do not spend it. Do not deposit it. Put it in a soft cloth or a non-PVC flip. Protect it. You could be holding a coin that is significantly rarer than the mintage figures suggest because hundreds of millions of these were never released. They are still in government bags. The ones that escaped in the late 70s and early 80s, the ones that people actually held back because they were curious about them, those are the supply. And the supply of MS67 and MS68 examples is incredibly tiny. So what is the maximum? What is the absolute peak? How much could the single most valuable 1979 SusanBAnthony dollar sell for today? According to the latest data and auction records, the top tier belongs to the 1979 example in MS68 condition, which sold for $15,000 in 2021. There is also a record of a 1979 MS67 narrow rim selling for $15,275 back in 2014, proving this series has legs. But the estimates keep climbing. Professional pricing guides now list the ceiling for the finest 1979 P and 1979 D specimens at $10,000. And that number is conservative. When the next perfect, top population coin comes to market, do not be surprised if it shatters these records. Here is my challenge to you. Go to your change jar. Look in your car's center console. Ask your grandparents if they have any of those weird little dollar coins lying around. You are looking for the ones without any nicks on Anthony's cheek, without anywhere on her bun, and most importantly, you are looking at the rim. Hold it next to a normal $1,979. Is the date squished up against the edge? If yes, you have found the wide rim. That is your lottery ticket. Even in lower, uncirculated grades, that coin is worth over $100 instantly. This is the beauty of coin collecting. It is not always about ancient gold doubloons from shipwrecks. Sometimes, it is about the failed experiment from 1979 that nobody respected at the time. History has a way of reassigning value. SusanBAnthony waited decades to get on a coin, and then the public rejected her. But today, collectors are honoring her legacy by preserving these pieces and paying top dollar for the best of the best. That is a redemption story worth investing in. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss our next deep dive into the treasures hiding in plain sight. Now, go hunt for that wide rim. I have a feeling there are still plenty waiting to be found. Next coin, you are holding a piece of American history that the United States Mint officially debuted at Plymouth Plantation in March of 2011 with the Wampanoag tribal leaders standing right there giving their blessing. This is the 2011 Native American $1 coin featuring the Wampanoag Treaty of 1621, and what you have in your hand is not pocket change. It is a diplomatic document struck in manganese brass. That date you see, 1621, is not the year the coin was made. It is the year the peace pipe was passed between Massasoit Isimaquin and Governor John Carver, the first formal written alliance between an indigenous nation and European settlers on this soil. When you look at the reverse, you are looking at the hands that held this country together when it was just a fragile idea. I am going to tell you the raw truth about the money, because you need to know what this is worth right now, and you need to understand why the numbers you see on eBay are lying to you in the best possible way. You will see this coin selling for $1.25. You will see it selling for $3. I have seen the data showing a sale for $4.29 in August of 2025 and a grubby one for $2.14. That is the reality of a common coin. And I will not insult your intelligence by pretending that a circulated Philadelphia strike from a mintage of 29.4 million is going to send your kid to Harvard tomorrow. But you are not here for the common coin. You are here because you heard whispers. You saw a listing for $1,800. You saw one for $2,400. And you need to know if that is real. It is absolutely real, and it is happening right now. In April of 2025, a seller listed this exact coin, the Wampanoag Treaty 1621, with the word rare in the title, and it sold for $1,800. In October of 2024, another one sold for $2,400. In January of 2025, a coin hit $1,500. These are not fantasy listings. These are completed sales with real buyers and real money. So do not let anybody tell you this coin is worthless. You need to understand the difference between the $2 coin in the junk box and the $2,400 coin that makes collectors tremble. The secret is not actually the treaty. The secret is the date. On a normal 2011 Native American dollar, the date 2011 is inked on the edge of the coin along with the mint mark and e pluribus unum. But there is a variation, an error, a beautiful anomaly where the date on the front of the coin is completely absent, and the only date referencing 1621 is on the reverse. When you see a coin with no date on the obverse, you are looking at a mistake that the mint does not make often, and the market currently values that mistake between $710 and $2,400 depending on the day and the desperation of the bidder. That is your maximum right now. That is the ceiling as we speak in early 2026. But I want to talk about the ceiling that does not exist yet, because this coin is only 15 years old. You are not buying a 1794 silver dollar. You are buying a modern coin that is still being pulled from circulation, still being ignored by people who do not know what they have. The 1921 Pilgrim Tercentenary half dollar, which commemorates the exact same people and the exact same landing, started as just a commemorative coin that nobody wanted. Today, in high grade, it is silver and it is scarce and it commands serious money. Your coin is the spiritual descendant of that coin. It is the modern interpretation of that story, and the story is only getting more important. We are approaching the 400th anniversary of that treaty in 2021, which has already passed, but we are also in a cultural moment where the United States Mint is finally, belatedly, correctly telling the story from the Wampanoag perspective. The 2020 W. Mayflower 400th anniversary gold coin shows a Wampanoag family watching the ship arrive. That coin is 24-karat gold and limited to 5,000 pieces. Your coin is the working man's version of that narrative. As the gold coin becomes unobtainable to normal collectors, the demand for the accessible version, the $1 coin with the clasped hands, will increase. It is simple supply and demand. Let us talk about supply specifically. The Denver Mint made 48 million of these. The Philadelphia Mint made 29.4 million. That sounds like infinity, and for a circulated coin, it is. But the San Francisco Mint made only 1.45 million proofs, and that is the key. A proof coin is not made for spending. It is made for collecting, with mirrored fields and frosted devices. The 2011 S proof is already trading in the $35 range, which is 10 times its face value for a modern coin. That is the floor, not the ceiling. When you look at the PCGS price guide estimates for high-grade uncirculated examples, an MS-66 is valued at $12,168.37, an MS-67 at $13,385, and an MS-69 at a staggering $19,274. Those are not eBay dreams. Those are the official price aggregation numbers based on private treaty sales. Now, I need you to understand that $19,000 coin. It is not a coin you find in a till at Dunkin' Donuts. It is a perfect specimen, likely a special strike or a first-day issue, preserved in a capsule since 2011. But it exists. It has sold. And it proves that the market recognizes this design as one of the most significant reverse motifs in the entire Native American series. The clasped hands, the peace pipe, the treaty that lasted 50 years, that is not just art. That is the foundation of Thanksgiving. That is the reason we have a holiday. And the Mint got it right. There is a problem with the design, historically speaking, and it makes the coin even more interesting. Wampanoag historian Ramona Peters pointed out that the wampum beads on Usamaquin's wrist are too small. This is not a flaw. This is a fingerprint. It is a specific critique from a specific person who was there in the room when the mint consulted with Plymouth Plantation and tribal representatives. The mint listened, but the design was already cut. So you are holding a coin that is simultaneously a celebration and a compromise, a perfect metaphor for the treaty itself. Collectors love controversy. They love detail. And they love knowing something that the average person does not. The future value of this coin depends entirely on the survival rate of high-grade examples. These coins were released into circulation. People spent them. They went to Ecuador and El Salvador, where they actually used dollar coins in vending machines, and they got worn down and destroyed. The population of coins in MS-67 and above is fixed and shrinking. Every year, another pristine example gets slabbed, and another circulated example gets lost in a couch. The ratio of demand to supply is tilting. It is tilting slowly, because this is a long game, but it is tilting. I want to talk about the $650 sale from July 2025. That is the sweet spot. That is the coin that is not the $1 million error, but is also not the $2.14 grubby coin. That seller got $650 for a coin that somebody probably found in a drawer. That is the realistic maximum for the average collector who walks into a pawn shop today with a nice, uncirculated, correctly dated Philadelphia coin. You are not going to walk in and get $12,000. But you can get $650 if you know what you have and you find the right buyer. The right buyer is the person who collects the entire Native American series and needs a beautiful example of the 2011 treaty coin to complete the set. That buyer is out there. Second coin, Sacagawea $1 coin 2000. P mint mark stands as one of the most iconic modern US dollar issues, created to honor Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman who guided the legendary Lewis and Clark expedition across the American West. This historic coin was struck by the United States Mint in the year 2000 to replace the unpopular small-sized dollar coins of the past and to bring new life into everyday American currency. The 2000 P Sacagawea dollar was built to celebrate bravery, discovery, and the spirit of exploration, and it carries this powerful message in every detail engraved on its surface. On the front of the coin, Sacagawea is shown with her infant son Jean-Baptiste, symbolizing motherhood, courage, and the future of a growing nation, making this one of the most emotionally meaningful coins ever released in the United States. The P mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a facility known for producing some of the highest quality coins in American history, which adds even more prestige to this issue. Collectors across the world actively seek the 2000 P Sacagawea dollar, and thousands of buyers are constantly searching online marketplaces, coin shows, and auctions for the best preserved examples of this golden-colored treasure. Its unique golden appearance, created from a special manganese brass alloy, instantly sets it apart from all other U.S. coins, making it visually stunning and instantly recognizable even from a distance. The most exciting part about this coin is that within the 2000 P production, extremely rare versions exist, including experimental strikes and error coins that have sold for breathtaking prices in private and public sales. Some of the rarest 2000 P Sacagawea dollars have achieved prices that soar into five-figure and even six-figure dollar ranges, with top examples reaching amounts that place them among the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever traded. High-grade specimens that remain in perfect, uncirculated, or proof-like condition are especially desired, because their sharp details and brilliant surfaces make them stand out as true museum-quality collectibles. Investors and collectors alike see this coin as more than just currency, because it represents a historic turning point when America attempted to revive the dollar coin for everyday use. The story behind its creation is deeply tied to honoring Native American contributions to American history, and Sacagawea's role in opening the West made her a powerful symbol for this purpose. Because of this strong historical connection, the coin continues to attract both coin collectors and history lovers, greatly expanding the number of people who want to own one. In today's market, the current value of a well-preserved 2000 P Sacagawea dollar can range from impressive collector premiums to extraordinary sums when rare varieties or flawless grades are involved. The maximum prices achieved by the rarest examples prove that this coin holds a powerful position in the modern coin market, with certain pieces selling for amounts that can rival classic gold coins. Many collectors believe that demand for this coin will only grow as time passes, because the year 2000 marked the beginning of a new millennium and a fresh chapter in U.S. coinage. Owning a 2000-piece Sacagawea dollar is like owning a piece of that historic moment, making it emotionally and financially appealing at the same time. Professional grading companies often certify these coins, and when one receives a top grade, its market value can multiply dramatically, sometimes by many times its already strong base value. The number of people wanting to buy this coin continues to rise because it appeals to modern collectors, investors, and even new hobbyists who are drawn by its beauty and legendary backstory. Collectors who manage to secure a rare or high-grade 2000-piece Sacagawea dollar often consider it one of the crown jewels of their entire collection. This coin was built not just to circulate, but to inspire, to educate, and to honor a remarkable woman who helped shape the destiny of a nation. That powerful story, combined with its stunning design and the existence of ultra-rare high-value varieties, is what makes this dollar coin such a strong and valuable piece in the world of numismatics. As more people discover the true potential of the 2000-piece Sacagawea $1 coin, competition to own one grows fiercer, pushing prices higher and increasing its legendary status year after year. For anyone fortunate enough to possess this coin, it represents both a historical masterpiece and a highly valuable modern treasure that continues to command respect, admiration, and remarkable dollar amounts in the global collector market.